Good morning, friends. So today I am getting ready for our Christmas Day phase 1. Usually I wouldn't film anything on real Christmas Day. Everything about this year is a really fun concept because we kind of get to do it twice. So last night it kind of felt like the most chill Christmas Eve that has ever been. And today I'm like, I've just got up at a leisurely time. I'm getting ready. I'm going to my mum's house. I'll tell you by the end of it whether or not I enjoyed the 2 Christmases, but so far, it's really nice. So I'm taking some time to actually do my hair and makeup this morning, and with everything I've just said, I've woken up in the most irritable mood. You know, like when just everything's wrong. You're getting changed and something happens and you can't quite reach something and everything's just a bit like, ugh, why is everything against me? That is just kind of my vibe today. I couldn't tell you why. I think it's woke up on the wrong side of the bed situation because I've literally been awake for 5 minutes and I'm already irritated or pushing past it. I'm not annoyed. I don't know. That's part of it, isn't it? I don't know. Am I annoyed? Why am I annoyed? I don't know. Merry Christmas, Milo. Merry Christmas. I thought I'd put on some makeup and see if that made me feel better, but honestly, I've just tried to... This isn't even plugged in. Right, we're cooking now. Milo came in and brought me some Lucozade and my earrings. And he asked me to try this on his hair, and he said it hurt, so... That's a review from a 12-year-old boy. Feeling a little bit better. I have been watching YouTube while I straighten my hair, and I've been watching someone called Carol Tuttle. Someone recommended her to me yesterday. She talks about dressing for your type. She's got, it's one of those like made-up concepts of, I think you're this type, but I find them quite useful, and it is self-development time of year. If you are looking for some kind of personality-led guidance, she talks about how your type does everything, like expresses yourself in relationships, whatever. She's called Carol Tuttle, and it is called Dressing Your Type. I'm going to read her book this week. I'm a bit warm after all that. So I'm going in with makeup. I want to do something... I want to do a red lip, but I want to do something kind of... like not too heavy, because I always feel quite hot on Christmas Day. I'm using the Nukes. This is the multi-purpose dry oil for face, body and hair. I am in love with it, and because so little of it comes out, but it stretches such a long way. Like it's not a dropper, because if it's a dropper I'm using so much more than I need to. It's a little spritz. I think this is going to last me a long time. A long time, because it barely makes a dent when I use just 2 spritzers on my face. Absolutely obsessed. I shouldn't have bought this and the Pixie Vitamin C primer oil at the same time, because I think that I will get more use from that. I mean, it's a completely different thing because it's a dry oil, so it doesn't feel as oily. But I think I'm going to get more use from that. I think I'm going to get more uses from that, more like value for money than with the Pixie. But that feels like something for another video. Some of these brushes need a serious wash. I suppose that's like a New Year thing. I should be putting that on my list. I actually bought a Filofax yesterday. I'm really excited about it. I don't know if you'd be interested in like a Filofax setup, or like how I've laid it out, how I'm using it once I'm using it, anything like that. I used to do planner videos back in the day. I've always had a planner of some shape or form, but I haven't had a Filofax for many years. I had a Filofax when I was like, wow, look, I haven't really noticed, but I've still fully got like swimsuit lines from holiday in August. It's December. Come on, get a grip. What was I saying? I used to have a Filofax when I was like 25. It was a bit unusual. People mocked me for it. These are the things that I think this is on my list for my ADHD assessment if I ever get one. It's probably unusual for a 25-year-old woman to have a Filofax, but I had a daughter, and I had a Filofax literally from leaving school, because we had planners, which I lived by, And immediately I went to a proper, like, businesswoman's sized file of facts. I had everything in there my entire life. But, you know, I had a daughter, I had bills to pay, I was kind of responsible beyond my years in terms of, like, things that I had to do. So I suppose that was maybe part of it. But I've always enjoyed just a place that everything is. Now I've got I use my iCal on my phone just to kind of know what's happening day to day. If it's not in there, I'm not doing it. But I like to be able to properly see something like a month at a glance. And I like to plan my online stuff. My planners in recent years have really become like, I need to know month by month what kind of content I'm making. I can tick things off like, right, I've made that video now. And I've not been great in the past year with content. I've not been particularly consistent because, you know, I've had my fingers in other pies. But this year I want to get back to it properly, and I think a planner is the way to go. I have had a planner for the past year, I just haven't used it all that much. And when I've been looking for planners this year, I need my other brush, and I don't know where my brush is. So I'm just going to make do with the things that I have. My other brush is like more of a buffing brush. I think it's better for the bronzer, because otherwise I'm just smearing it up into my hairline, and I'm not into it. Okay, that's kind of okay. So yeah, I've always had some kind of planner, and the thing that put me off the Filofax was that I thought the A5 size was really tiny, and it's not. It's like a full-on, the same size that I used to have, so quite excited about that. It appeals to the wanting to change things up all the time in me. So yeah, I will talk more about it as I use it, but if you'd be interested in actual, like, over-the-top content of me showing you through it, then let me know, because I did used to enjoy that kind of thing way back when. Speaking of going back to content, I am going to do a flat lay of the items that I've used today, and I'm gonna do a little blog post, and you can find everything that I've used there, because between filming and then editing and then getting it up on YouTube so that I can write in my description and list everything for you, it's not always like within the same day. Today it definitely won't be, and I've got to go back and remember what I used. So instead I'm just going to open a blog post, write everything down, and that can be kind of your source of whatever. I might have a little chit chat over there about kind of how the day went and my feelings about double Christmas. I've been really enjoying blogging actually recently. I don't know quite what it was that triggered it. Someone said something and I thought, I'd like to blog about that. I do know that the thing that has hooked me back in all the way is that I am blogging about everything apart from makeup. I used to almost exclusively do beauty reviews, like just almost completely, like there's really nothing else that I was talking about. And now I'm just like talking about whatever I want to talk about, whatever kind of comes to mind. And I'm really enjoying it. I'm realizing that I like the writing, but it kind of dropped off a little bit because there's really only so many times you can review a lipstick. There are some products that you want to talk about, but it was a job. It was like 5 posts a week for years and years and years. But I think that in 2024, it's coming back. I've got to have a full overhaul of the site because I kind of just want it to look like an old school blog. You know, like a blog where you opened it up and all the posts were in order and you could just catch up with whatever the posts were. That's what I want from a blog. Also, if any of you still read them, do you have somewhere you use to read? You actually use to like keep track of them all? I used to use Bloglovin. I don't know if Bloglovin's still a thing. I know some people used like Google Reader. There was just it was like I opened every day and I read the thing I wanted to read. Do you like subscribe by email so you get blog posts in your email? I don't know. It's an interesting thing, the people that are still reading blog posts. And if you are the best people to answer those questions. I was also talking to Emma yesterday, Emma Millard, it's M Channel, and she is down to do something, you know, like I was talking about the other day, something like a New Year's or a resolutions or a manifestee type thing. I'd like to do like a video or a live where we chat about what we want for the next year. And we were talking about doing it together, and we're kind of a bit technically inept, because I know you can somehow do that on YouTube, but I don't know. So we said instead we might do like one after the other. So if you watch my stuff, and then we'll go over to Emma together and we'll watch hers, and we'll kind of like do consecutive lives. My idea behind that was that we could come away with it and all be chatting through what we want for 2024, and kind of come away with ideas and a little bit of enthusiasm and maybe a list of things. You know, like I haven't made my resolutions yet. It's not resolutions per se, but like goals. I haven't really sat down and been like, what do I want for next year? I'm off this whole week before Christmas, second Christmas, because today is real Christmas. And so I think I'm going to take a little bit of time to do that with my new pile of facts. But I do always enjoy talking through stuff like that with you guys. So I would like to do that. And I think I might do it somehow in conjunction with Emma. I was going to do a little bit of concealer, but I don't feel like I need it. And I don't want to add more layers, because recently I've felt like I get a little bit crepey. So I think actually I'm just going to do my, if I can find it, my fake eyeliner with my palette. I was looking the other day, because I've said this a million times, but how could they discontinue this palette? It's the best palette in the entire world. It's the Too Faced Natural Eyes. And I think it's because they've got one that's like a naked palette dupe. And I can only imagine they've got most of the colours. Most, but I looked and they haven't got, it's not the same. Most of the colours, and it would kind of fit the bill, and they want people to buy that one instead of this one. But this one's just amazing. I will be so sad when it goes away. Hopefully, by the time I use all of this up, because we're talking years, they've brought it back and they've come to their senses, because it is my very favourite. It does everything I want it to do. So what are you guys doing this Christmas? Are you doing like a normal? I think since lockdown, people's traditions have changed. My parents, I always say our parents, and it makes us sound like a real strange family. My parents lived with us for 4 or 5 years, and our traditions changed massively, because we used to go to their house every Sunday. We kind of had our rhythm, and then every single Christmas. And then during that time, we didn't have a dining room, because they lived in, like, we kind of compartmentalised our house. They lived in the space that would have been like the dining kind of snug area. And so we did things separately. We went out the first year, I think. And then, the first year we did it here, and it was kind of like cramped and a bit of what is going on, because we moved, I think, on something like the 20th of December. It was crazy. I transported a fully decorated Christmas tree, and I only lost like 3 ornaments. There were Christmas ornaments in my car for years. I just never took out of the boot. They're just like fallen off the tree and made their way in there. And yeah, that was like a very manic and stressful Christmas. So we did that, and then we went out for dinner, and then I can't remember. I think maybe then it was lockdown, and because you couldn't have that many people, it was like households, but also a maximum number. So although we were one household, we reached the maximum number to then have my brother and his girlfriend at the time over. Or my grandma, that was the problem. We had 3 households. And so we went out for dinner, and my mum, my dad, and my brother had dinner with my grandma, because we couldn't mix 3 households. It can't have just been the households, though. I think it was the maximum number of people over COVID. I can't remember. And then since they've moved to their own house again, we've been there, they've been here, and this year we're doing kind of like a mix. So we're doing, I'm not entirely sure what is happening on Christmas Day yet. I am doing a Christmas Day here, but we're doing a Christmas Day at my mum's today. And then time will tell. You can watch the vlogs and find out what the plans are for actual Christmas Day. It's been a bit like here, there and everywhere, but Christmas Day, actual Christmas Day, we will be here, which I'm quite looking forward to. I think that that's going to be a nice, just like it's nice to stay home in your own house on Christmas Day. And last year was the first year I've ever done that since I was a child. Especially when you've got kids and families and you need to go out here, there and everywhere visiting everyone. It becomes the norm that you're busy on Christmas Day, and it's so nice to just be home. Even though you're cooking, it's just nice to just be in your own house. So yeah, we've kind of split things up this year. I'm not about keeping traditions for tradition's sake. I think you can play with stuff and decide what you want to do, what suits everyone, and still get everyone's wants and needs met. We don't need to be, we have to do this because we've always done it this way. I just don't believe in it. Just don't believe in it. This is probably like the 40 creeping in. I have this thing with Milo when he's going to be our birthday. This is, by the way, very remnants of Mac blotting powder that I should probably be putting on with something else, but hey ho. I usually use this brush to do my powder, but it's usually loose powder. I'm just feeling like loose powder recently has been not my friend. I actually might get another one of these because it is the finest of the fine, and it doesn't, if you're oily, you can put it over the top of other stuff and it doesn't look horrible. Also, whenever I do my makeup, I always feel afterwards like, I don't want to do a bold lip now because it might ruin it. But I wore a red lip this week and I was really enjoying it. So I'm going to. I don't remember what we were talking about. Traditions. Traditions. What are your traditions? And are there any of them that you have bent or changed? When I did wear this the other day, I got a couple of questions and I don't know if I got to answering them yet. But this is the Sephora lip cream. It's the cream stain. I'm trying to look what the colour is. It's difficult to see on that. Oh, I think it's number 1 actually. It's just red. It's just red. The lip cream stains are some of my absolute favourite lip products of all time. They are so good. They really stay on, and when you have to reapply them, they layer quite nicely, and they're comfortable. Comfortable. I was like such a liquid lip addict, and I can tell you these are some of my absolute favourites. So that's it. Quite plain all around, and then a pow lip. That was the plan. And also the straight hair. The straight hair. Ella told me the other day that she likes my hair straight best, and I was like, yeah, like I get it, but it's a real pain. I'm going to try the dry oil. This could be a mistake. I'm going to try it just on the ends. Love the smell. It really lingers. We'll see. I think it'll absorb into the ends quite nicely. But she said that she liked my hair straight, and I was like, it's the heat damage though. That's what puts me off. Do you know what? I've got a hair appointment next week. Not that I feel like I desperately need it, but I am at this point just letting her do whatever she wants because she's got my hair. I think I look really washed out in this light, but maybe it's the red lip as well. But she's got my hair to such a nice colour. Usually I'll like, by this point I've changed mine, I'm like, oh, I want to do something completely different. But she's got my hair to such a nice colour and cut that I just think I can see where you're going with this. She hasn't put any blonde in it in more than 6 months. It was like the beginning of this year. And maybe it was 6 months ago. I can't see how it wasn't. She told me last time, still no more blonde, and I'm like, what? Because she puts dark in it to make it look like the highlights have been refreshed, but she doesn't put more blonde in it. So I suppose I have got quite a lot of root, actually, but still. Yeah. Last time I just said, I feel like you've got a vision for this, and I'm just going to let you roll with it. And I'm going to continue that. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me and keeping me company while I get ready for Christmas Day Phase 1. Let me know what you're doing this year, because I'm really interested in the dynamics and the things with Christmas and like how people do things differently. But yeah, have a nice little Christmas time. Have a nice little Christmas break if you're having one. I'm actually working between Christmas and New Year, but I've got this week off, which I'm excited about. And I will see you in my next one. Bye.